This programme is brought to you by Taom Billiards.
Too fast, too fly, too flaunty, too gas, too high, yeah, we on it. We go wherever the crew going. I'm ready, so tell me who want it.
Evening, welcome back to the West Midlands for the Super Series, Paul. It's our penultimate show of the competition. It's the second semi-final. Shaun Storry versus Gareth Hibbott for the right to face Alex O'Donoghue in Tuesday's final. It should be a cracker tonight. Simon Webb caught up with both of our players.
Shaun, you were the first man into the semi-finals, which means you've had a bit of time to get yourself ready for the semi-final and time to watch the other quarterfinals. Did you watch any?
I did. I was glued to them. It's been some great matches since Monday. Yeah, it was Gareth, to be fair. So yeah, last week I played, didn't I? Feels like it wasn't that long ago. And
plenty of time to practice. Have you prepared differently for this match?
Just the same again. Still stayed away from the clubs at the minute, but it'd be nice to go into one soon. Just at home, and obviously had half an hour here before the interviews.
Gareth, a stunning performance in the last round just a few days ago. Have you had time to reflect on that, and what are your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, I've not had a chance to see it back, but I have been thinking about the game and thinking how nicely it came out and how well I cued, and I've sort of not tried to play too much since, because sometimes you can play yourself out of form. So just had the odd hour just yesterday morning and today, so just to try and keep it to that sort of standard, hopefully.
You've been behind in both of your matches so far, and you've been able to turn them round. What is it that's made you or allowed you to sort of fight and get back into those matches?
A bit of luck, really. I mean, that second set against Simon, where I was 4-1 down and ended up winning it with 8 minutes left or something, was, well, I mean, if I didn't win that set, I'm probably out of the tournament. So I think it's just appreciate being here. There's not many tournaments on at the minute, so just try my hardest, and if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. But I'll just keep sticking in there till the end. When you get into that sort of rhythm in a tournament, normally you get to play almost straight away afterwards, but in this occasion you have to wait a few days. Do you feel like you can still build on the momentum of the last round?
Yeah, with it just being a couple of days ago, and the confidence just keeps running through. If it had been a few weeks like the last round, it's obviously a lot happens in between, but yeah, hopefully I can carry on similar.
You've gone deep in plenty of big tournaments. You won a couple of big tournaments as well. Where would winning this tournament live on Freesports rank?
I think it probably would be well up there, to be honest. The first big tournament I won in Stoke was probably the best tournament I've won in my career as such, but this would definitely rank alongside that. So,
wish you the best luck tonight.
Thanks very much, Simon.
And thoughts on your opponent, Shaun Storry? Possibly not the player you'd have expected to play looking at the draw before the tournament started, but a fantastic player. Yeah,
he's been on the scene sort of 3 or 4 years. I think he used to play 9 ball, but yeah, he's had some great results since he's been playing 8 ball, and he's a real danger man in every tournament.
Have you allowed yourself to look forward to what could be a big final here on Freesports?
Not at all, no. You just got to take one match at a time. As everyone says, it's going to be tough enough tonight without thinking about the next one.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Just one match at a time. That's all our players can dare to dream about, but that final is within touching distance for Gareth Hibbott and Shaun Storry tonight. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb with you once again here on the Super Series. Simon, a great semi-final in prospect. If it matches the drama of last night's episode, then, well, stay tuned, basically.
Fingers crossed, but it has every opportunity to match last night's semi-final. Both great players. Gareth Hibbott has achieved a lot in this game, and Shaun is starting to get some titles on the board, starting to make his way in the sport, and this could be a very competitive match, and this could go all the way as well.
Well, we certainly hope so. Yesterday was terrific entertainment between Mark Farnsworth and Alex O'Donoghue. It went almost the very, very distance to the tiebreaker, and it was still on with just 90 seconds on the final set clock to play. Watching the two players lag off it, and closest to the back cushion will have the opportunity to break first. And just ahead of this one, Simon, final word on last night and the winner in the end, Alex O'Donoghue. A fantastic performance, and in a quarter-final and a semi-final, he's taken down Jordan Shepherd and Mark Farnsworth. Not bad going.
Brilliant. I'm really pleased and chuffed to bits for Alex. It's a great performance to knock out those two great champions, to make his way through to the final, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he goes in that final next Tuesday.
Well, it's time to find out who he will be playing. Shaun Storry against Gareth Hibbott is live next. Well, welcome back to the Super Series here on Free Sports. We are almost ready to go with our second semi-final of the competition. Shaun Storry taking on Gareth Hibbott. It's Shaun who has the break. First up in our first set, the shootout format. Simon, this has given us some great games so far. Shaun, as you mentioned in your interviews a little bit earlier, not necessarily expected to be at this stage as we've got this far on, but he's got nothing to lose at this point.
He hasn't. I guess he probably expected to be at this stage, because you've got to have that sort of belief in yourself that you're going to make it this deep in the tournament. Otherwise, why enter? But I guess to us, you know, looking at the draw at the start, maybe he wasn't the name that many of us would have picked out. But we could say the same thing about Alex O'Donoghue, and he's dispatched a former world champion, one of the greats of the game in Mark Farnsworth, and Jordan Shepherd. It just shows anything can happen, and Shaun is more than capable of getting victory tonight and making it a fascinating final.
Yeah, we open up with a tactical battle between Gareth and Shaun. Break was a good one from Shaun Storry, but first shot wasn't available for him. It may well be now, though. He elects just to play safe. Neither player with a ball. See both players doing their best to observe the social distancing guidelines. Only 3 people in the arena, the referee and the 2 players. And the camera is operated remotely and robotically by our team here in the West Midlands.
As the players look like they're getting off to a slightly slow start with this tactical battle. It's been a sad day in the pool world, as one of the stalwarts of the English game, Jenny Levens, has passed away, and our thoughts go out to all her friends and family. It's not the start that either player would have really wanted. Both players just want to get an early opportunity, get their Q arm going and really get into the match. And Shaun makes a ball off the break. He wants an opportunity.
One free shot, one visit.
Didn't get one.
Time out, please.
Will change things though with that foul. Gareth Hibbott not reaching a cushion. Shaun Storry not reaching a cushion, giving Gareth the chance.
Oh, it doesn't come much closer to reaching a cushion, mind. But this is a big shot for Gareth here. He has one free shot before his visit, and he's got to use it to develop this table. I would say a specific ball, but it's difficult to see where he'd do that. This is an awkward light. What's he got in his box of tricks?
He was trying to open up those 2 yellows next to the red at the bottom of the table, as well as the one at the top, because the yellows that he's left in the top half of the table wouldn't have been too bad. The 2 yellow plant to the top right, the other one goes. So it is these 3 at the bottom, but it's gone all wrong. He hasn't opened anything up, and he may not even be able to pot a ball from here.
No, I don't think he can. The yellow on top of the 2 glued together doesn't cut to the middle pocket. Gareth has decided to reroute and take reds instead.
A bit surprised with that, if I'm honest. Maybe he was just trying to nudge that down, and he wasn't really thinking about potting it. He was just trying to mess up that area of the table, even though colours aren't assigned, because yellows are still the favourite colour set here.
And that's a canny little shot.
Yellows would still be marginal favourites here. It's hard to believe that Gareth could make this clearance, but I guess if the red he's looking at now between the 2 yellows go, then things could start to open up. I think he can get to the potting angle of the red at the bottom of the table if he lands in the right area. So maybe what started out as a sort of safety effort may develop.
Oh, that's a great shot. He's been a little unlucky with how that's come out, actually. Top of the table. The yellow tracking across towards the left side of the table off the back cushion, just blocking off those reds route to the top left corner.
Incredibly unlucky.
Deserved more with a shot as good as that.
Deserved a lot more. It looks to me like he's tied up all 3 reds at the top. Yeah, all 3 reds at the top were tied up. I don't think that went.
It's actually quite a clever safety, because in playing it, he's managed to get all 3 of his balls into, I think, potting positions. Maybe one that's closest to the black doesn't quite pass that yellow. But Shaun's not got much to go at here. Can he squeeze this past the red? That's not come out as he wanted at all. Wanted to really tie that red up in that corner pocket and maybe even take the pocket with the yellow as well if he could squeeze in between the jaw and the red. But this now may be open for Gareth.
It's just a very difficult first shot. He can pop this into the left centre, but it's delicate.
Really delicate. Yeah, this is about as tight as it gets.
Cutting that back to a blind pocket, and as we've mentioned, all tournament long, these centre pockets on the black ball table play tight. The table plays beautifully, but it's just one of the characteristics you get with this black ball table. This time Shaun does manage to tie the red up to the top right hand corner, so control is starting to edge towards yellows. That might help Gareth, because if Shaun can only see the yellow he's next to, and he's going to be opening up that pocket and all the other reds go, so delicate little shot required here from Shaun. Oh, he was okay. He could see the one further down the table, and that made everything okay.
But due to the nature of black ball rules, it's not necessarily the end of the frame for Gareth Hibbott. If he can find a way to pot a red and get the white back up towards that end of the table into the yellows, he can quite easily get that red out of the way.
I think he might be forced into trying to make something happen now. He's going to lose the tactical battle with the way the balls have now laid out. Yeah, he was trying to be aggressive, was trying to get the white across and pop the red over the top right at the same time with the plant.
Not sure he's got an awful lot on here. He's having a look at the plant into the middle pocket.
Problem is, even if he makes the plant, how does he land on the next ball, and how does he get anywhere near developing or cannoning or opening up the red at the top right hand side? He's big odds against now.
That's not terrible. Again, his big issue is the red at the top of the table.
It's easy to say in hindsight, but if he played that slower and kept the red at the top half of the table, then he could have looked at some sort of 3-ball plant. That would have given him an option.
That's what I'm thinking. The 3-ball plant may still be on if he sort of almost doubles this red back up towards the top of the table. That's what he's playing. Nearly got lucky with it. In the end, didn't come too close to it.
Difficult to tell whether he was playing the double back up to the top right hand corner or trying to pop that red to the bottom right hand corner and screw off one cushion into that red. I think the double into it was probably the better option. He was a little bit off that.
I've not seen too many of these frames full stop, let alone in the opening encounter. I think this just shows the quality of the two players on show here. The fact they're straight into a pretty respectable safety battle. Gareth there was totally snookered, so didn't have to hit a cushion after contact.
He's kept things tight once again. Still nothing for Shaun to go at. He is going to have to wait for a snooker. He has to be patient here. He could try and pot a ball in a couple of visits' time and leave an angle to play the skill shot, but at the moment, be patient. It's probably the best option.
Yeah, Shaun really needs to force Gareth to foul. And at that point, he can clear out the top of the table and finish this frame off. But Gareth is not going quietly. Until now. And this is where Shaun has to make this pay.
there is an argument here, and it will feel like a little bit negative, but there's an argument here that says you pop the open red and play another safety shot, developing the yellows at the bottom of the table, just to make the clearance more guaranteed. If he goes for the clearance straight away, he has to play a couple of good positional shots for the 3 in the bottom corner, at the bottom half of the table, I should say.
Is that what you'd have done in that situation, do you think?
I would have potted the red for sure, but then I'm not quite as good a player as Shaun, so I wouldn't be backing my ability as much as he is. Because you're almost guaranteed, if you get the other red off the table, you're almost guaranteed having a shot on a visit and on your next visit, because it's almost impossible for Gareth to get out of the next snooker. And so you pot the red with your first shot, and then you develop the yellows at the bottom with your free shot, whilst leaving a snooker that's impossible to get out of. Next time you come to the table, it's a much more, well, it's a routine finish. But I still expect Shaun to get these. It's still pretty wide open for him.
Yeah, he's made good work of the 3 yellows that were close together on the left side of the table. This is one of the longest frames of the tournament. 11 minutes and change here.
Now he's just finished awkward. He's just a little bit thin on the yellow to the right centre. I don't think he can see enough of the yellow to the right corner. If he plays the yellow to the centre, the white's going close to the 2 yellows. He just needs to, well, he can see the one at the top, so he's fine. He's just giving this a lot of thought, because he knows he needs a nice angle on his last yellow to land comfortably on the black. He can land on the black in, there's a huge margin of error, but you do want to get nicely on it. And he has just gone that half a roll too far. Just thought if he's dead straight, he's fine. I think he's just got an angle where he's tracking towards the black, which he now needs to make a decision. Does he just drop this in and expect a thin black? Does he try and come off a cushion and get into a good position? Possibly pot this just a fraction thick? Not as straightforward as it looks.
Shot clock ticking.
Oh, he's played the double. He's missed it.
Well, that is what can happen when you run a ball roll out of position.
That's all he was. He was half a roll out of position. If that, he was just, if he's straight, he's perfect, and decided he'd rather make the double than a tricky black.
Well, what a steal for Gareth Hibbott in the end, and it just shows the benefit, just sticking in there.
You can see why he's gone for the double, because if he pots that centre pocket, the white is going to go into the black.
I think the biggest... Anyway, we'll come back to that. These are the rules of the game here. In case you are not familiar, we are playing black ball rules, which is the same as the pool rules you're familiar to, apart from a couple of important things. Ball must hit with snap to contact. A foul introduces a shot and a visit. No 2 shots, a 2 shots carry or anything like that. Skill shots are allowed, which means if you are on reds and you pot a red and a yellow, that's totally okay. Shootout rules introduce the golden break and the golden duck. If you pot the black and break, you win the frame. Pot the black and the white, you lose it. We've seen one all tournament, John McAllister, in his match against Gareth Hibbott in the quarter-final. And Gareth makes a ball off the break and was a little bit unlucky not to make a couple. But, the beauty of the shootout format is the match clock and the shot clock in this tournament. Half an hour per set, a race to 5 or the score at 0 seconds, whichever comes first. In this set, almost guaranteed to be taking the score at 0-0-0.
First frame nearly took half our time. Must have been the longest frame in the tournament.
Yeah,
I can't believe
quite a
it was
distance
one.
actually.
Yeah, quite a long way. One of the question marks coming in to this match was, could Gareth Hibbott break as well as he did in his quarter-final? And it's an excellent start, brilliant break. not just making a ball, but the power generated, the lovely open split he's left himself. Great separation between all the balls.
He was queuing absolutely wonderfully on Monday night. 15-second shot clock now in operation. That's what happens at the halfway stage of each of our sets. The shot clock shrinks into from 30 to 15 seconds, and already you can see how it hurries our players along. It's as quick as it gets. 15 seconds. I think if ever it went any shorter than that, wouldn't have too many players left.
It would be tough. I can't believe they can play as well as they can with 15 seconds. It's so impressive. It's so difficult to do.
And Gareth Hibbott has made this frame look remarkably easy, and considering the first frame took the best part of 15 minutes, that one is over in less than 2. Gareth Hibbott cruises to frame 2 to tie, to take a 2-0 lead rather. This is Gareth Hibbott, 50-year-old now. He is a multiple world champion, not just the IPA world champion, but he's won the seniors, the doubles as well, won the lot. He is a former IPA #1. He is something of a pub sports king. He's an excellent darts player. He's an unbelievable snooker player as well. Back-to-back 147s, as you can see there.
Frame, Shaun Storry to break, trading 2 frames.
He really does love his sport.
I was just going to say that back-to-back 147s was fairly recently as well, within the last year and a half, which is just a brilliant statistic. Just absolutely magic to do that.
Oh, Gareth here. Oh, smell blood after that break from Shaun. It's not the easiest of lies. What can you do with it? Is that going to come out nice for Gareth? It may have done. I don't think it has in the end. This is a tough shot for Shaun. But Gareth is going to take these on. Every ball, bar one, has a pocket. He does have that problem area, not just his yellow, but also the black in that cluster with the 2 reds. This could be about to change, though. How's it come out? Has he got a shot? I think he does.
Yeah, I don't think it's come out particularly well for him. He's blocked up one of the corner pockets. He does have some sort of pot on, but it's incredibly tough. Possibly a double plant.
Oh, it doesn't come much closer than that.
Odds against making that one. That was very speculative. Black's in the way really for the shot. He's trying to go by the black and make this actually a double 3-ball plant he was taking on.
Oh, Shaun frustrated. He's a bit unlucky, but any time you're playing at that sort of pace towards the middle pocket, it's tough. Gareth there. Just playing a safety. They are playing tight, these middle pockets. We've said this all tournament long. They play true, but they do play tight.
Just have to respect them. That didn't miss the centre of the pocket by very much. Catches the jaw, stays on the table. There's definitely some frustration on Shaun's side of the table, the way he started, but well, chase a finish here in a bit of anger. Red at the bottom is a problem, black is a problem. Hard to develop both.
Oh, needs to play this quick. Did well. Shot clock will count down until the white ball is hit. Doesn't doesn't matter when the ball's actually potted, it's when the cue ball is struck. Skill shot coming up, I think. Oh, he has absolutely creamed that.
He was hoping to make more happen. Skill shot itself isn't that difficult, but he wanted the yellow to come up, the one that's flying around the table. He wanted that to go up into the red and yellow that were together and try and open up that ball as well. Well, he's still chasing. Not sure he can get
a lot on.
Yeah, I don't think he can get anywhere near. He could probably just about double this in or cut this in. It's the cocked hat double. It doesn't go in.
Foul.
To add insult to injury.
One free shot, one visit. Time running.
I know the 15 seconds a shot makes it look more wild than it really is, but that really felt like a frustrated visit to the table as Gareth plays a loose free shot. I don't think that yellow goes. It's very tight. He's going to have another look.
You can see that's a problem. Oh, and Gareth, in trying to hold the white, also runs afoul of those middle pockets.
Well, the yellow may not go, but the black certainly does.
Yeah, and Shaun, after having so many problems with this frame, eventually he's going to end up winning it. You can sense the frustration. He's pleased to get that one out of the way. He's pleased to get one on the boards. So Shaun Storry from Suffolk, Ipswich to be exact. Did get an IPA Amateur Championship last year at the Isle of Man. And well known on the circuit, a relatively unfamiliar name maybe to our Freesports viewers, Simon, but someone who's well known in the world of pool and well regarded as a good player.
Yeah, amateur champion on the IPA Tour, but the other title on that list of achievements was a big club event in Stoke. Lots of big name players in that event. He also made the final of another one of those events where it was stacked with some of the best players in the world, and that just shows what he can do.
Here we see Gareth's break, and you see how high the white ball jumped there, and instantly you can see Gareth a bit disappointed with that. As soon as the white ball's up in the air, automatically a worry, but he hit it so hard. I don't think it had to be in that particular instant.
You do see that from time to time. I think if we super slow-mo down every single break, you'd see the white is kind of bouncing down there all the time. Oh, where's the white? Oh dear.
He's got that fractionally wrong, Gareth. Just fractionally. He's had to try and screw back to slide past that second red. And in doing so, has just misjudged it. Pot's gone awry. The white is home in the middle pocket.
He's going to be very frustrated right now. I know that Shaun was in the previous frame, it was visible, but Gareth had a golden opportunity, an absolutely routine golden opportunity for 3-0. And all of a sudden, he's 2-1. And in a minute or two's time, it could be 2-2. And the set is in the balance when he should have this wrapped up, really.
See how it hurries our players along though, the 15-second shot clock. Both appear to be struggling a little bit with it, and I think that's more because the lies haven't been necessarily the easiest, and it's not the time to play the shot, it's the thinking time to figure out the patterns and the routes.
You're absolutely right, it is the thinking time. It's trying to work out what you've got to do if you land slightly awkward, and this is a prime example. He's landed awkward, not on the ball as he wanted to be, and he hasn't got the time to rework out what he can do. You have to almost just see a shot and hit it.
And the visit. He wasn't far off. He would have been on his next ball. Gareth now with a chance for a reprieve. It was a really sloppy way to give away the advantage in this frame. Should be an easy clearance from here.
I thought the same in the previous frame though, so I'm not going to get too carried away.
He absolutely did. And Shaun's actually conceded the frame. He's keen to move this match on. It's permitted in this format. So the frame goes to Gareth Hibbott. And there we see the tournament table. Shaun Storry has knocked out Simon Fitzsimmons, in itself a great victory. Aaron Davies, the World Championship runner-up as well, was vanquished in the quarterfinals. Both players have played some really good players to get here. Let's play one more if they go the distance. Shaun Storry did not want to hang about. Hammers the break. And then going 3-1 down, he knows he's got 3.5 minutes here to rattle off 2 frames. Still a big ask this for Shaun, because if he dishes on his own break, which he's got a great chance of doing here, this isn't the easiest clearance, but he'll back himself to make it, especially if this comes out nicely. I think he's okay.
Tricky. He's opened it up. I don't know if he can drop it in. He's going to try to. No. And that's going to be a foul as well.
1 free shot, 1 visit.
Didn't reach a cushion for the first time tonight.
Time out, please.
Gareth has about 2.5 minutes just over to kill. There's plenty of time for the clearance, so it's not a case of wasting the clock if he goes 3-1 in front. Sorry, 4-1 in front. It is set over.
He did play spectacularly well on Monday, Gareth. One of the best performances we've seen in this tournament, if not the best, considering the calibre of the opposition. Up against the world champion John McAllister, who didn't even really play badly, and he got bruised and battered in that game by Gareth Hibbott, who was just on another level. Felt like he couldn't miss, was queuing in clearances out of nowhere.
Best performances I've seen from Gareth in many a year. It really was phenomenal. I agree with you. One of the top 2 or 3 performances of the whole event. But it's strange, Paul. You can't do anything wrong in the quarterfinals. You start the semi-finals and all of a sudden there's mistakes and it's tricky and it's awkward. Starting back at 0-0 is difficult.
Nicely done. That's a really good shot. And that will just rubber stamp this set win. After losing the first frame, Gareth has now won 4 more to make it 4-1.
Set conceded, first set.
And Shaun Storry has conceded the set with 1 minute still left on the clock. The first set of the semi-final goes the way of Gareth Hibbott. Set 2 coming up next. Welcome back to the Super Series here on Free Sports. 1 set down in our second semi-final. Gareth Hibbott goes into a 1-0 lead. And a set which he showcased why he's the favourite in this one, Simon. He looked pretty good. Not quite the form that we saw on Monday, but not too far off.
Yeah, a couple more mistakes than he did on his previous round, but a few mistakes from Shaun as well. Both players early stages in this match, probably making more mistakes than they would have hoped to, but you know, Gareth will be happy that he's got the win if he can get himself in front in this set, as we've talked about all the way through this tournament. The crucial second set, going 2-0 up, would be a huge advantage and tough for Shaun to come back, so big pressure on Shaun here.
It's another hammer of a break from Gareth. He struck that beautifully. The only thing that will be annoying him is where the blacks ended up. It's tied up with that red, so a bit of working out to do. Opted for the yellow colour set. It's hotting up here in the Super Series, as you can see in the studio. The jackets are off, or mine is at least. Simon didn't iron his shirt.
Thanks for that. Yeah, the commentary box is hot, but joking aside, so's the playing arena actually. The playing arena gets very hot when the weather's hot, so it's tough for the players out there as well.
It's been a lovely day here today in the West Midlands. We've really enjoyed some sunshine. It's a fantastic shot from Gareth. Has he got a shot though? That's the question. That red tracking over to the bottom left might have just ruined that for him.
Just looking at the body language, I think he's just about okay. I think he can drop this, well, the yellow that's nearest that corner pocket in. It's not the full pocket. If he can't, he could use the red. He'll be glad this shot's in the 30-second part of the set. Just a few more seconds to work it out. Step one done. He's made the ball off the red. It hasn't opened up the pocket for the yellow that's in the bottom part of the table. And it doesn't go to the opposite corner, so it's a problem that's going to be difficult to solve.
The only area of the table that this bottom yellow goes to is the middle left and the top left. Getting the ball, the white, into the bottom right of the table from here is very difficult. Has he done it? Needs quite a few more rolls. So he wasn't far away. Is there a way he can get this yellow?
Well, he's back looking at the skill shot. He had a look at this a minute ago. It's tough. I can see why he tried not to play on it, because the red's on the jaw. It's a little bit away from the edge of the pocket. And this is as hard as they come, really, in terms of this style of skill shot.
Oh, what a shot!
That's very, very good. That really is excellent skill shot.
Has to be millimetre precise there. There is no margin for error, especially not with the red on the jaw. He's played that perfectly, and he's been rewarded with a horrible, horrible final shot. He deserved more. Can he go and win the frame? Yes, he can. Can he? No! How's that not dropped, Simon?
That's incredible.
I don't believe it.
You felt gravity had to take over. That had to drop. Great effort.
This overhead camera tells us lies, I'm convinced.
Might have to have a word with the camera crew and figure out what's going on, because that looked in all day long.
And it couldn't be an easier clearance now for Shaun. I just looked online, looked like he played it absolutely perfectly. It was such a good effort, that clearance. It was really, some really, really good shots to get that far. Yeah, that's it. I can't explain that.
You can't get any closer, can you? You cannot get closer.
It's a brilliant shot from, brilliant clearance rather from Shaun Storry to hoover things up. He'll be delighted to get a frame on the board. The first frame in the second set to arrest a bit of the slide towards the end of the first set. This is recent tournament history. Had a really good run in the Masters. Great win over Ben Davis, no less. And of course, you see there his win against Jordan Church in the Isle of Man Amateur. Jordan, a familiar fixture on the IPA circuit. He's some really good results under his belt.
Brilliant victory. That tournament was his last as an amateur before he turned professional. Well, actually the World Championships was, but it was the last tour event.
It's a really good break there. It's about as good as you can probably hit a cut break. With the amount of movement he's got on the balls, he's struck it really nicely.
Made back-to-back golden breaks in practice this afternoon. I popped up to interview him. So we have another look at this missed pot from Gareth.
Yeah, there it looks less in.
Yeah, it's
the overhead was lying to us.
It's the overhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked into the arena to interview Shaun as he was practicing, and he made one as I was walking up the stairs, which he told me about, and then the first break he had as I was watching was in it went. So back to back. We'll be looking for a couple tonight.
Well, he's looking pretty composed at this stage. Just thought as he started his break, he was a little bit edgy still, hadn't quite settled and still maybe a little bit unsure. Quite agitated around the table, but at least at this stage with the 30-second shot clock, he has got his time to do that. The issue is when that cuts in half, it then becomes very difficult to have that sort of care and attention. Just has to be careful not to stick to this black hit. I think he's absolutely fine. Fence. He's made sure by screwing all the way back and takes it to the middle pocket. Lovely work. 2-0. A perfect start to this second set from Shaun Storry. This is Gareth's recent action, and not too good really from Gareth's standards. I think he'd be the first to admit that. Had a decent run of the Isle of Man professional until he was beaten by Clint Ianson in the last 16, and went on a really good run at the World Championships this year, all the way to the semis before being beaten by John McAllister. But since then, back to back to back to back round 2 finishes, and that is not like Gareth Hibbott. He is a better player than that, and I'm sure will have annoyed him a touch, I'm sure.
2015, 2016, he was the #1 player, very consistent, always in the quarterfinals or deeper, won a lot of events. Since then, his form's been a little bit patchier. There has been some first round losses. There's been some big victories as well, World Championships, seniors, doubles. But he will be disappointed. The consistency isn't quite there as it once was.
It's worth pointing out as well, to win the World Championship seniors is no small feat.
Oh yeah,
it's a, you know, it's maybe not surprising to some, but maybe to others. You know, pool players can play quite a long time. It's not like other sports where you reach 30 and you're past your peak. These players can go a little while, and there is a very, very high standard of player in the World Championship seniors.
I think a lot of people outside the pool would be surprised to hear that the seniors events start at 40. So when you consider the number of players over 40 playing at the top of the game, it's quite a few. I've seen a couple this week. Gareth Hibbott, Mark Farnsworth, both over 40.
Cued that one, an absolute dream. Really, really struck it beautifully. Certainly in form at the minute, Gareth Hibbott. It's cueing really nicely. And he feels like he can take anything on.
Looks slightly annoyed this time. I'm not sure. I looked on main camera, I thought he'd come far enough to get the one over the left centre. Oh, he has, but he'll have to maybe play it with a bit of side. Can't then land on the next ball, so is he going to take this? Is very tight into the middle. No. So he was a bit betwixt and between. If he goes an extra roll further, he's straight on that into the middle, and you expect him to make it. It is such a fine line at this game, it really is.
These are all there for Shaun. It's a really good opening shot. Has a plethora of yellows to choose from here. Maybe a route you could go. And counter clearance here. We'll give him a 3-0 lead.
Just working out which way he wants to go, really. Using the full 30 seconds just to consider things. It's a finish that looks fairly comfortable for him. All the balls have a pocket. Just has to make sure of going the right way. Left himself a little bit off angle that time, but good recovery pot, back into perfect position. I'm not sure if the yellow at the bottom of the table goes to both corner pockets or just the right. Just something to keep in his mind, and the black doesn't go to its obvious pocket, but plenty of room to land on it into a different pocket. We see it so often in pool, even the simple finishes, or what we call the simple finishes, you have to still make sure you still have to finish with the right angle. Make sure you've got the right angle onto your last ball and work it all the way through.
Just has to make sure he doesn't leave himself behind the black on this one. This is only danger, and that's been taken away now. 2 shots away from 3-0. This has been a really good response by Shaun Storry to going 1-0 down. It's not the easiest shot for the black. He'd much prefer it if this white was a couple of inches further off the cushion.
I think his biggest problem is that this has got to be close to an off with the cue ball in the right centre.
It's a great angle, that, actually, just to show it.
Yeah, you really could tell from the... Yeah, there you go. This white's going to be close, and the problem is when you're on the cushion, there's not a lot you can do about it. He may be playing this with pace to try and widen the angle. Well, he was, but he missed the pot by some distance, and that's a gift for Gareth Hibbott.
It's never, ever easy, is it?
It's almost a carbon copy of set number 1, but the other way round. Gareth should have gone 3-0 in front and didn't, when he had a great opportunity. And you just don't want to keep your opponent in a set. If you can put it to bed early, you need to, because things can turn around so quickly in set play.
Yeah, it's the beauty of it. You know, Shaun's 1 shot away there from going 3-0 up and probably going on to win this set pretty comfortably. But now we'll be back to 2-1. And Gareth Hibbott polishes up. Here's the stats so far. It's fairly even. One thing that does stand out, though, is despite having won a couple of frames less, Shaun has potted more balls, which shows he's been getting more chances.
Yeah, he's a lot of chances. That when you've got a high number of balls potted compared to the frames you've won, that just shows that you've had a lot of chances in frames and not managed to win them. Both players are a little bit guilty of that.
Oh, is this going to come up dry? Yes, it is. Well, he's a little bit fortunate here that the white didn't go in. I mean, you'd have been very unlucky for the white to go in, haven't it? Seeing it kicked all the way up to the top. But now, Gareth Hibbott smells blood. This is what we're talking about, how quickly it can change. 2-0 down, should have been 3-0 down a minute ago. And now it's 2-1. He's at the table with a chance to make it 2-2. Got work to do, though. That first shot hasn't come out nice for him.
Very poor opening shot. It's a hard one to explain that. Had plenty of time, wasn't rushed.
Oh, what a recovery. What a recovery shot that is.
That's some pot, isn't it? And look at the position as well. Landed nicely on this red into the centre. Might even have a little angle just to nudge the black over the opposite centre pocket. One more problem to solve. Red on the right-hand side. It doesn't go past the yellow. Does have an angle, or will have an angle in a second, to play the red to the bottom right-hand corner and cannon into it. I say he will in a second. He's come out a little bit too far. So this time, maybe he was always playing for it. It's going to be red off the yellow. Get the yellow out of the way for the last ball. This is missable, playing it this way.
Missable indeed.
.13 minutes left on the clock. Just under 14 minutes. Comfortable clearance here for Shaun. Needs to mind his work, but 3-1 advantage. Still time for Gareth, but maybe a big favourite for the set. And I say he just has to mind his work, and that is not. Put himself in all sorts of trouble. He's going to try and cut this back to the left centre. This is really difficult. That was tough. There's back-to-back frames where Shaun Storry should have won it, and he's looks like he's going to lose it.
It's about to be a massive final 10 minutes in this set. We talked about it a little bit last night, Simon. The difference between 1-1 and 2-0 in sets in a race to 3 is so big. This is such a big set. And Gareth Hibbott has tied things up in it.
Huge moments in this match, really is. Shaun really should have wrapped this set up. He should be 4-0 in front. He should, 3-1 worst way. So to be 2-2, it's going to be tough from here.
Our final is coming up on Tuesday night. It will be one of these two, Shaun Storry or Gareth Hibbott, taking on Alex O'Donoghue. Tuesday night, 6 PM on Free Sports. That is our final.
Fifth frame, Gareth Hibbott to break, 2 frames all, second set. Time running.
Massive break from Gareth. Chance to really punish Shaun and get himself in front in this set. Will really be putting Shaun under pressure if that happens. Very powerful. Makes a couple of balls. Leaves himself a great opportunity.
He's still been breaking really well tonight, this Gareth. Really is breaking well. Oh, that's not going to drop mines. And you knew it straight away. Contacted the cushion about halfway towards and there.
Nicely done by Shaun.
It's a great shot.
Gone from being second favourite in the tactical battle to being a mile in front. Gareth might be aggressive straight away. No, he's going to wait. Wondered if he was going to take a skill shot on. It's hard to pot the... I thought might try and pot the one on the left-hand corner pocket and screw across the table, but it's so far in the pocket. It's actually hard to pick to get the shot screwing across the table. It's a difficult shot.
Well, here's a tactical battle with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Good luck, gents. There is not a lot of time to respond in kind. Shaun could go aggressive here.
You can understand that. Both yellows at the bottom, whilst he has that pocket tied up, he can't pot them himself. So, and there's no other yellows nearby, so developing it's very difficult. Oh yes, Gareth. Oh yes.
Shot that is.
Loads of topspin.
He's not been rewarded with anything nice here. He's just going to respond with a safety. So in a sense, that was just an aggressive safety shot from Gareth Hibbott. It's not enough to get him on the table and taking on the clearance, but that is some response. And it's a shot you looked at straight away.
Almost an exhibition shot. I'm sure he would have played a few exhibitions and played something along those lines. I can't remember ever really seeing that sort of shot in a match very often, but lots of topspin. Look at the topspin takes over, so the white comes up the table, and then the topspin takes over and it spins back towards the top cushion as it's going towards that other corner pocket.
He wants to be behind that red in an ideal world. Every ball now pretty much out in the open. Does Shaun have a way of making a pot? He's gone safe. Can he hide the white?
Lovely
He
shot.
can.
That was a lovely shot. Best shot he's played tonight for me.
Not a bad response, but again, it's now open for Shaun. I don't think he'll hesitate about taking these on.
This is it. This is his reward for a great safety shot snooker. Just has to make sure he leaves a nice angle on his last ball to get across to the bottom right corner of the table. Nicely done. No problems at all this finish. A very well executed safety and an excellent clearance, and Shaun's back in front in this set.
Still plenty of time left in it though. Good 7 minutes or so by the time these are re-ranked. A couple of mistakes though in this game from Shaun Storry. It could so easily be a different story in this set.
Yeah, the poor shot there was the ball onto the black. He should have been better than that. And again, the poor shot wasn't the missed pot into the middle pocket, it was the position onto the yellows. He had so much room to play with to land on the yellows, so came way too far down the table, snookers himself on all but one ball. So it's his cue ball control that's costing him at the moment, but he is still in front in this set.
That's the break.
Where's the black? Where's the black? Not this time.
He was trying to sack it in, wasn't he? It wasn't far off. Really wasn't.
I thought that was in all day. When I saw it tracking, it was online.
Oh no.
Just shows you can't change your mind on the shot. He was down on the previous shot with 4 seconds left and decided to change his mind and run round the table and take on another ball. That was a brave decision.
He has gotten out. Pretty spectacular recovery. Be a pretty spectacular recovery. Says sorry immediately to Gareth Hibbott for getting a bit excited about the golden break. I don't mind it. Oh, is this reached? Just.
Oh, he's got the pace.
I think it's a bit against the code, isn't it, wanting a black ball's going off the break. I think we've seen it from a few players in this tournament so far. It's almost a sheepish sorry about that when they put the black off the break. It's still not quite accepted yet, is it, as a legitimate method of winning the frame in a way.
It's the only format of the game where you'll see the golden break. It's just a tournament rule. Adds a bit of drama for the shootout, and yeah, the players are a bit sheepish with it. When they make one, they're almost apologising to their opponent, but it'd be different with a big crowd. There'd probably be the atmosphere from the crowd, and they'd go with that.
It's the key shot, needs to make the double, has done. Is he snookered on the black? He's having a little look at the cushion, which makes me think he might be. Might have to go cushion first here. He does. He's fine. Well played.
Frame.
And that makes it all square with 4.5 minutes to play. That is.
Can we get the frame score change, please?
Coming up on Free Sports, Shootout Showdowns on Monday. Patty McCarron takes on Matt Lawrenson for £2,000.
Frame 7, Gareth Hibbott to break, trailing 4 frames.
Game after that as well, which we'll tell you a bit more about. Well, Gareth here needed to make the last 2 frames of this set really to have any chance. And he did have a chance with 4 minutes on the watch. If he'd have not gone in off, he'd have had every chance with this setup. But Shaun here will be licking his lips at this kind of opportunity. I mean, Gareth's unlucky, really unlucky to go in off there.
He hits that break really nicely. Deserved to make a ball, deserved to keep the white on the table and have an opportunity. And he would have had to be a quick clearance, but just about enough time. But now one thing we do know is that Shaun has all the time in the world just to clear these up. 15 seconds a shot, 3 minutes 10 left on the clock. Plenty of time for the clearance to win the set.
Yeah, a reminder, we don't go all the way to 0. If it's a race to 5 and the player gets to 5, they take the set out. It's whichever comes first. The end of the clock or 5 frames.
Plenty of room to land on the yellows, just wants to pick the route he wants around the table. Yellow below the black, comfortably plants to the other yellow. Doesn't need to play a good positional shot on it to get it to the other corner pocket, which makes things just a little bit easier. Might play both here. He probably was trying to make both just because it would have made things easier, but still not a problem.
For the set, Shaun Storry ties things up in the semi-final. It's 1 apiece with 3 to play. Welcome back to the Super Series. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb still with you. It's 1-1 in the semi-final between Shaun Storry and Gareth Hibbott, and that was such a massive set for Shaun to win, Simon.
Massive, yeah. You can't afford to go 2 sets to 0 down in this format. Very hard to come back, and Shaun's not done that. He's got the frame, they've got the set on the board, and actually he played pretty well in that set. He made a couple of mistakes at 2-0 up that we thought might cost him, but he rediscovered the form and actually was a pretty deserved winner in the set.
Yeah, he sure was. And his first break of set number 3 will annoy him. I think coming up dry, he'd have loved to have taken some momentum into this 3rd set. And now a chance for Gareth to snatch that all away.
Don't think he can see the red to the bottom left-hand corner, so he's having to go up the table. Pretty comfortable layout for Gareth to be attacking here. Black's the trickiest ball, but he'll leave one of the 2 reds to the top right for his last ball. Plenty of room in the middle of the table, so it's really hard to see where the problems will come from here. Just has to be careful. The 30 seconds helps him as well if he does finish slightly off angle at any point. yellows just to hold the white in the bottom half of the table. If he slides by it, he could end up a little bit thin on his last, or his penultimate red. And he's gone the other way. He's played that with lots of check side, lots of left-hand side on that shot, just to hold the white. Check side kill the pace off the cushion, also get the white going towards the red rather than across the table. Really well worked out pattern here for Gareth. Just 2 more pots to take out a very smooth clearance.
It's a really nice bit of work this from Gareth Hibbott. Fantastic reverse dish from Gareth Hibbott, who will look to seize the advantage in this 3rd set. Good chance for him now. With the way he's been breaking, he's going to a 2-0 lead. He's been getting such a good split. Only been dry the once, got kicked in off elsewhere, but other than that, the break has been almost flawless.
He's catching the break really well. You can be kicked in off, that happens, but he's getting great connection, great splits, great power through the pack, and if you keep doing that, you've got to believe that you'll keep getting the good results. And it's a surprise with how well he's broken so far that he hasn't had more than 1 break and dish from his 6 breaks. So we talk about his break. He hits a really poor break this time. Doesn't catch them well. Nearly screws the white in off, but gets kicked in off instead.
Oh, there was so much power in that, and you could see by the way the white came back off the pack. But it was almost as if all the power wasn't transferred to the pack in a way, and just skewed away, and the white kept that ridiculous pace towards the corner pocket.
Just didn't catch that front ball solid. He caught it just off angle. If he catches that front ball solid, the white will come back up the centre of the table, and you'll see a much more of an explosion of the pack than the way they soft opened, if you like. Almost looked like the white's bouncing off the pack, which isn't happening, but that's kind of what it looks like. Well, it was a great chance for Gareth for a reverse dish in the opening frame of this set. Well, this is a better chance for Shaun Storry in this set. There really is no problems to speak of. The only thing you can really do wrong here is not land nicely as you come from the top half of the table to the bottom. He is just off perfect angle. But as you can see, the one above the black goes to the right corner pocket as well, and that actually really helps him. He could just screw back. Yeah, you can see where he's pointing his cue now. This wouldn't have been his original plan, but it's the best choice from where he's landed.
Just missed it. Didn't cue that too well. He just left himself quite tight to the cushion. Had to play it dead weight. I don't know what it is about the dead weight shots, but they just seem to have a little bit more of a hazardous nature to them.
I think everyone watching at home that has a game in their local will tell you it's just so much more comfortable. You'll see a lot of players in the local club playing with power because it's more comfortable to cue with acceleration when you're hitting the ball hard. When you're having to play things dead weight, it's very easy to decelerate on the ball and not cue smoothly on it.
May not be the end for Shaun Storry. There's a good chance it won't be, because these yellows are not nice for Gareth Hibbott, and the 3 reds are all sitting ducks.
It's a nice shot. Not a lot more he could do. Oh, I say it's a nice shot. Shaun's come around the table to see whether he can see the red nearest the bottom left-hand corner, and the fact that he's eyeing out the next angle, to me, I think if he can't see it, it's just a soft swerve. It looked a better snooker than this from the main camera. But it's not a snooker at all.
Problem solved pretty easily in the end for Shaun Storry. Didn't really even need to swerve it, just a little bit aside did the trick. It should be now, straightforward.
He'll go in and out the bulk end of the table, but all the yellows in the bottom right-hand corner, so no traffic and natural route to the black, all about the pace.
To square things up in our third set. Easily done from Shaun Storry. Still got 7 and a bit minutes until the 15-second shot clock comes in. We told you earlier about our Shootout Showdown matches. A reminder once again, Monday night, pool is back on Freesports in the form of the Shootout Showdown. Patty McCarron and Matt Lawrenson take on each other for a £2,000 purse. John Roberts and Martin McIntosh go toe-to-toe. A princely sum of 5,000 quid. Those will be good matches. They're just an hour long apiece. Not a bad hourly rate if you can get it.
Lots of pressure out there for the hour though. £5,000 on the line for an hour's pool.
Oh, I'm not sure I could stand.
It's more pressure when you consider. We just heard the buzzer going off, but I'm sure that was for a time foul, just an error out there. Yeah, when you consider both players and take £5,000 pot, both players are putting up £2,500 each. So you know that's a lot of money to be putting up. Very different pressure to a tournament situation. It'll be fascinating to see the first shootout rules on live TV money match.
It's another world to me. I've been known to get nervous playing yourself for a pint. Back in the day.
Most players.
Now we just play for slices of toast.
Yeah, slice of toast, cup of tea. And that's nervous enough, that really is.
But is there a way that you can ever sort of get used to that feeling of pressure? Because I know you've taken part in some of these matches yourself. It is a different feeling. Do you ever get used to it?
Yeah, I can honestly say that the actual the financial side of it doesn't enter your head at all. It's something you might think about beforehand. You know, it's something you have to consider, but you have to be comfortable with whatever you're playing for. But once the match starts, you're just playing a match. There's nothing more to it. It's unlucky for Shaun trying to get the red out and just goes by it. But all you're thinking about is the match in hand, and that's your only focus. The rest of it isn't part of it, and you deal with it before and after.
It's not the end of visit for Shaun. He's still alive in this frame despite his failure to move that red. He's just got to figure out a way to land on it. In fact, he's going to take it now. All the way up to the top corner. How good a shot is that? It's good, but it's not there. It's a really good effort at a horrible pot, really. Would have been an incredible shot. And now, back comes Mr. Hibbot.
The good news for Shaun is I think the red is still just about in the way for the yellow on the top cushion. If that yellow went past, if the yellow does go past the red at the top of the table, then good chance here for Gareth for a very quick counter clearance. If it's not, he's going to have to find a cannon of some sort. That tells me it probably is a gap, because he's gone straight away up for it, even though he would be playing it as a plant. does play it as a plant, and what he needs to make sure of is the red he's hitting doesn't come and get blocked by the red. Well, perhaps not. That was probably just a safety, the way he played that. It didn't go, just nudged the yellow over, get the red out the way. And it's a very good shot. Opens everything up on yellows. Nothing for reds to go at. Oh yeah, you can clearly see from the overhead that the yellow didn't go.
Puts all kind of pressure on Shaun. This really not got an awful lot on. Not a lot of time to think about it. What's he got in the arsenal? Looks like he's going for a double. Won't mind that if he flukes it. Oh, wow. But instant karma, he snooked on the next one.
Instant karma, I like that. I mean, he is trying to make the double in the middle, but no plans to use the yellow. We haven't seen a huge amount of those in this tournament. 2 or 3 throughout, but not that many. He's going to need another big shot now, though. One cushion, catch the red. 3/4 ball, half ball maybe, into the right centre.
Oh, goodness me. I'm amazed how hard he played that.
I am. I thought there'd be just that fraction more control. But he's probably thinking it's hard, because if he could get to the natural angle for the red, then I think he would just play one cushion with control and the pace would just be to reach the pocket. But I think the fact he had to put a little bit aside on that to get to the red, I think he felt it was taking away the control. So I'm going to hit this firm and try and make something happen. May not make it in the right centre, but it might go in the top corner. It might go in off a yellow, off the black. Who knows? Gareth doesn't get the position he wanted.
It's a really good snooker to play. Open up those 2 yellows now. Shaun appreciating it as well.
With a treble escape, looking to pot this in the right centre. Won't land on the black, but he'll just be happy to have a go at it somewhere.
Not a bad effort. Oh, he's unlucky. Really good go.
Great effort.
That should be that, really. Don't think Gareth will need another snooker to lay here. He should be there for him.
Just has to decide when to go up for the yellow at the top of the table.
I'm going to do it now. He does.
Even when it looks as simple as this, and because Gareth has the 30 seconds, he's going to use them. Just wants to make sure he doesn't leave too much angle on his last yellow. Anywhere near straight, and it's really simple.
15 second half an operation.
Can you hear from our referee, Donna Evans? 15-second shot clock now. It's a good bit of cueing that from Gareth just to kill the white on its way. It's a drag shot. Makes the black academic. 2-1.
Right.
Shaun Storry has had some good highlights in his relatively young tour career. Quarter-finalist in both the English and the international amateur tournaments. One Alex O'Donoghue there, who beat him in the quarter-final in the English. And the Isle of Man amateur champion against Jordan Church.
Just one season on the IPA tour for Shaun.
Time running.
Won an amateur event, earned plenty of ranking points and decided to turn professional.
Oh, well.
That's the second time he's had an in-off like that tonight.
And that's just pure dumb luck.
It really is.
Absolutely no way of controlling it. That is pure bad luck. The last one he had where it was sent towards the corner pocket and eventually got kicked in, he'll feel that was a little bit of user error. Not that one though. Nothing he can do about that. Cued it really nicely, and that's all we can do. A wry smile from Gareth. Not to beat for that one. Ooh, well then.
Colour's still not assigned as well.
It's a big miss from Shaun with a shot and a visit.
It's a huge miss. He didn't punish the first break from Gareth in this set.
Well, when Gareth went to take a seat after he went in off that break, he would absolutely not have expected to be at the table now.
He would have been thinking, okay, we're going 2-2. You know, good big 10 minutes coming up in this set, get myself back in front. But no, he's got an opportunity he wasn't expecting, and these are the ones that are going to hurt when your opponent should have cleared up.
These are the reds that Shaun Storry should be currently slotting in. Really surprising miss from Shaun Storry. It could be so big. Really could. Shaun Storry, who would have been breaking next, to potentially go into the lead in this set. A couple of poor shots, and he is about to go 3-1 down. And how often do we see it? The next break tends to go against him, but Shaun has already conceded. Didn't want to see the black go in. Had enough. Seen enough. Shaun would rather keep the time on the clock. These are Gareth's recent highlights, and they are many. Goes all the way back to 2017, plenty of semi-final and indeed final appearances. Some really good runs deep in some big tournaments.
Disappointing thing for Gareth is that there isn't any victories on that list. The Premier League qualifier was to get into the Premier League, doesn't count as a tournament victory. A couple of finals he did make, he came up on the wrong side of, and for a player that's won as many titles as Gareth has on the IPA Tour, he'll be disappointed not to have more success. But it's tough to win. There's only a small number of tournaments to play each year, and there's a lot of great players on the tour wanting to win them. Shaun doesn't need to rush here. He's 3-1 behind, but there's still 10 minutes. There's still
loads of time.
A third of this set left. Just has to win this frame. Just figure out the way to win this frame. If there's going to have to be a rush, it would be in the next frame if this frame was slow, but there's so much time.
This is a tough shot. He's not covered the pocket as he wanted. Can't help but feel he's a little bit rattled at the moment, Shaun Storry. Yellows aren't easy. But Gareth will be delighted just to be able to have a go at them. They're now easier.
What a lovely shot that is. He was nowhere. He was wrong side of the table when the beep started, walked round and still made sure, sort of took his time to do his normal pre-shot routine, stepped into it, and lovely cannon to open things up and actually make it a fairly routine little finish. Ooh. Gets a kick. Shouldn't make a difference. It probably means he can't get quite as close to the red to the top left as he wants to, but it's not a bad angle really. Yeah, that kick just means that he's hampered queuing over this red and has to drop this in dead weight, whereas without the kick he could screw up right behind it. It's a delicate one, but one he shouldn't miss.
So let's go one away from the third set. Gareth Hibbott. Secures a 3-frame cushion. 4-1 in set number 3. It could be such a different story in this set, it really could.
He's had the bulk of the first chances as Shaun. More often than not, a couple of fouls from the break from Gareth, and yet he's 4-1 behind.
There we see our World Championship honour roll. Gareth Hibbott's name up in lights there in 2016, a 2-1 victory against Craig Marsh. He would return the following year to right that particular role.
It's a deciding frame over Craig Marsh. I think it was a break and dish by Gareth in that deciding frame of the deciding set. Brilliant match. Oh, golden break to win the set.
How about it? 2-1 Gareth Hibbott. He can't quite believe what he's just done. Oh, go and make yourself a cup of tea, Gareth. Have a sit down. Job done for set number 3. Full set coming up after the break. Welcome back to the Super Series pool here on Freesports. Stephen Jameson and Simon Webb with you this evening for our final semi-final ahead of the grand final on Tuesday night. Alex O'Donoghue awaits the winner of Shaun Storry and Gareth Hibbott, and at present Gareth Hibbott is 1 set away from making the journey into the final. He has the first break of the 4th set, which could be the final set. Shaun Storry will do everything in his power to ensure that is not the case and take us all the way to a decider. Comes up dry in his opening break, does Gareth, which has been a rare occurrence tonight. His break has been pretty good. It's not been as dynamite as it was on Monday, but it seldom let him down, at least in his controllable sense. He's been kicked off a couple of times, but what he's been doing generally has been pretty good.
Of course, had the golden break as well, which is a bonus for sure. One poor red, or one difficult red for Shaun to work out, and he would have liked to be able to land on it next. If he was straighter on the red to the centre pocket, he'd top through for the awkward red. He's not. He's going to be up the table. Well, he's still going to play on it because he probably doesn't have too much choice. He needs to get it out the way until that's gone. This clearance is difficult, so backs himself to make it from a awkward position, right through the gap. Any of the reds at the top of the table will do next nicely.
It's an amazing end really to the last set. I think if you looked at the word sheepish in the dictionary, I think you might actually find a picture of Gareth Hibbott after making that golden break. Almost apologetic.
Golden break for the set. Hand up of apology. Looked very sheepish. It's a strange one. It's Gareth's first taste of shootout pool. First time he's played with the golden break rule.
And he's had quite a few. He had a couple, I think, if I remember rightly, in his first round match. Shaun here with the ideal response following the loss of that set. At times it looked like the game was getting a bit away from him in set number 3, but that's the perfect riposte to kick off set 4. I feel like he needed that.
You do. He needs to get himself back on the front foot, win a frame, and it's not just winning a frame, you win a frame with a great clearance, and he'll be breaking off next and thinking, right, good break, 2-0, let's go. Shaun Storry plays a World Championship runner-up in round 1, World Championship runner-up in round 2, World Champion in round 3. Very difficult for Shaun, and he's had to fight very hard so far.
Some run to the final if he manages it.
I think he lost his opening set on all 3 matches.
I think you're right. He's pretty much not done it the easy way. Where's that white ball? It's in. That's unfortunate. But interesting, Shaun changing his break, now going for the front break, and the first result of that as the white goes in.
He's very unlucky though, isn't he? It's one of those frustrating ones for Shaun as well. Sometimes the white flies straight in off and you're like, you know straight away, but on this occasion Shaun would have been looking around the table thinking, oh, this is a good split, there's a couple of balls down, things are opening up, and then all of a sudden when the last ball's rolling is the white, it just makes it that fraction more annoying. Key shot on this visit for Gareth Hibbott. White's got to do a lot of travelling. He lands nicely on his next ball. Should be close cue ball control thereafter. I don't think he's landed nicely on his next ball, but one of the yellows to the left of the black does go to the bottom right hand corner. Looks a little bit tight. Yeah, just a little bit tight. The red was blocking the bottom jaw, and that kind of forces you to go the other way. You don't want to hit the red. And you just overdo it. If he gets straight on that, he doesn't miss it. So just going from the top end of the table down the table, just enough mileage to make things tricky.
Let's keep on going. Will do. It's not a bad shot, this. But that is it's a bad miss from Gareth. The angle's not doing him any favours. He'd have expected to make that. He's having a little look at a 3-ball plant to take control of this pocket. Didn't quite work as intended, and this is now a very, very messy table. The Reds have an ever so slight advantage, but it's...
How ambitious is this from Gareth? 3-ball plant with that level of gap between them. It's massively odds against, but what else did he have on? Not a lot. I agree with you though. I think I'd rather be Reds in this situation. Oh, definitely rather be Reds now.
Yeah, that'll do it. Now not much of a debate.
Tight running.
Wanted to rest up on that yellow, and as soon as he made no contact, that made it a very bad shot.
Still not easy for Shaun to open all these up in one shot. You've got one free visit, or one free shot, and then your normal visit. So you have to get your work done with your first shot. And that's not come out brilliantly. It's not horrendous either. It's just a bit, there's more work to do. In those situations you would love it to come out and all the work's done in one shot, but he's going to have to go back to work now. Still retains complete control of this frame though.
Oh, that's a crazy outcome. I was going to say it's a lovely fluke for him, but he wouldn't have wanted that yellow to drop in the end if he had to be picky.
He was trying to play it in that pocket off the red, which was a great choice of shot because it could have really opened things up, and it was a big pocket, but he actually missed it by a long way. And very lucky to make the ball in the end, although, as you say, the way it's panned out, rather it hadn't have gone in.
Funny old game.
It's a very strange game.
Hey, that's a better shot though. And now the balance of power just slightly tilts back towards Gareth's yellows.
Shaun still winning the numbers game though.
Yep.
And covering up that pocket. He's got more balls to play with. Shaun does not need to chase anything here, doesn't need to be impatient. Take your time. wait for a good opportunity. Gareth's problem is he now has no balls out in the open, so he can't just use a ball in the open to keep things safe or contain things. He has to play some sort of delicate shot with one of the balls that are in the corner areas.
He tried to play a similar shot to one that he played a couple of sets ago. Exhibition shot, really. Fired in on bottom pocket and top across to try and make a ball in the other. It was tough. It was really tough. Shaun really needed that yellow to drop. It has. Now the frame's open right up for him.
Gareth didn't get the top spin on that he got first time round. He's just giving some thought to the red that's sort of in between the black and the yellow. There's plenty of room to land on it, just needs to make sure he's got a plan in mind of which way round he wants to work his balls. I think the black does go to the bottom left corner, but it's tight. So in an ideal world, you'd rather play it to the bottom right corner. So I suspect he was trying to get to the point where the red to the left centre was his last ball.
Oh no!
And that's what he was trying to do, but it's cost him the pot.
Oh, he's trying to jam it in. Off. Tough opening pot. Just swinging around a little bit more. It's a tough second shot.
He won't believe he's come up that far short. He was working so hard to stop the white from going too far up the table, and all of a sudden he's come up a decent amount short.
Yeah, absolutely. Held the white too well, if anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's cannoning the red full ball, it's perfect. If it's not, he's got to work.
And I think he's on the black fine.
Lovely shot.
He is. Great recovery from Gareth Hibbott, and he's going to take the frame. It's another steal. We've seen quite a few of these. Little counter clearances from both players. And you just wonder at what stage someone's going to make one that really, really decides the match. These are past shootout winners. Slightly different format, but as you can see, Jordan Shepherd very much the king of them. What a performer he is in this format. What a result it was when Alex O'Donoghue kicked him out at the quarter-final stage. Alex then went on to beat Mark Farnsworth in the semis last night. He's had a magical run to the Super Series final.
Third frame, Gareth Hibbott to break.
And he awaits the winner of this one.
Fourth set. Time running.
You can see there as well, Paddy McCarran making a shootout final. He's up on Monday here on Freesports. Not in this tournament, but in a shootout showdown match for a decent pot of cash. Much better break from Gareth on that occasion. In terms of balls down and keeping the white ball safe.
Yellow just below the left centre pocket, causing some problems. Don't think it slides by the other yellow to play the long plant in a couple of shots time. So it'll take a little bit of working out. He might, well, I think he gave some thought to playing this off the black, thinking the black might go down and open things up. Decided that probably wasn't on. Possibly looking to screw back to develop the red, the yellow. Yeah, lovely. Oh, I say lovely. Is he on the next ball?
He deserved more out of that. He really did.
I think he is. He's on the yellow. He is on the yellow to the corner pocket. The bottom right corner as we look from the overhead.
It's a great shot. He deserved the opportunity to play a shot after it. You can see his route here. He's going to have one big pot up the rail, which will give him a great chance to move ahead in this fourth set.
I think he might try and screw through the gap. Yeah, he's going for it. Doesn't want to catch the red. Oh, he's gone too far anyway.
Got into that all right, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did. He's gone. He wanted to be nearly straight on this yellow. Now he's thin on it. He's going into the black. So does he play this with control, try and get the black over the bottom corner? No, he's able to slide by it. That was a better shot than it looked.
Black then becomes rudimentary. 2-1 in the fourth for Gareth Hibbott. Really, really good clearance there. A bit better than it looked in some ways. These are our 4 Shootout Showdown players coming up on Monday night. Matt Lawrenson, Paddy McCarran, Martin McIntosh and John Roberts. £7,000 on the line on Monday between those 4 players.
2 very even matchups for me. All 4 players have played in the shootout. Martin has played in most of them. Matt has played in all of them. The other 2 have played in a couple.
Second shot clock in operation.
Shaun has to rifle around to find his other cue. This is a different one to break. 15-second shot clock now in use.
Be happy with this split. Black may not go to the corner. If it does, it's not a full pocket, but the yellows do. Just have to take those little cluster of 3 in the right order just to open them up. If the black doesn't go, he may look to play some sort of delicate cannon, either on the red. Oh, I think it was just, he wanted to nudge the black just half a roll, if that. And he slid by it, and he snookered himself. Starting to get difficult out there for Shaun. He won't believe he's got that gap. Any touch on the red, and he's fine. Any touch on the black, and he's fine. Gareth can find clearance here, and it's a very big if, because this is tricky. 2 reds on the right are a problem. Red on the top left hand rail isn't ideal either. Well, I was going to say if he can find the clearance, then he's going to go a long way towards getting himself into the final. It'd be tough for Shaun, but there won't be no clearance from here. It's hard to actually get the ball safe. Lots of right hand side, and very well played in the end, but he's still leaving a shot on.
It's not a bad go, that. It's about as safe as he could really play it. The way to be hypercritical is he'd have wanted that ball to be right up tight against the cushion, making it a little bit more difficult. Did leave a shot. Shaun elects to play safe. I wonder if Gareth will do the same. He's a naturally very aggressive player. Oh,
what a pot that is.
What a pot, Gareth Hibbott. What a shot that is.
Shaun was happy to leave him that pot. Shaun knew full well he was leaving him this shot on, and wow, Gareth, that is brilliant. That isn't, though. That is not brilliant, and that is now awkward. I actually thought, as hard as those balls into the centre pocket have been all tournament long, I thought he was going to leave the red where it was and play the red into the corner instead of the middle to make it just a case of make the pots.
Got to go cushion first. He's played it beautifully. He's played it beautifully. What a recovery. Still not guaranteed. This movement from red to black isn't the easiest.
I think he's landed absolutely straight, and he can't get on the black nicely. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep going, he says. Keep going. He's all right.
Yeah, he's fine.
Tell you what, this has been some clearance in the end. It's not been a vintage Gareth Hibbott performance, but we've seen moments, key moments in the match, Simon, where you see the quality, the match-winning ability of the 2016 world champion come to the fore, and that was a magical bit of work.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Really brilliant clearance, and key moment in the match, you feel. 3-1 ahead, already 2 sets to 1 ahead. There isn't that much time left on the clock in this set. He isn't in the final yet, but he's a big time favourite from here. Having a little bit of fun with his friend Ronan McCarthy, the legends of the game from Northern Ireland.
It's a ball.
Monster break, that is an absolute monster from Gareth. It's almost like he can sense it here. This is what happened to him in the first round. He didn't play his best pool throughout the match, but when he felt the match was on the line, when he needed the big finishes, he was able to come up with them. He won the key moments, and this could be another one here.
This frame is now almost a decider. 4-1 with 7 minutes left. Almost impossible for Shaun to come back. Very important to use the word almost.
I was just thinking, if we go back to his first round match against Simon Fitzsimmons, he was set and 4-1 down with 8.5 minutes on the clock, and he cleared up. Well, he won the set from absolutely nowhere with a second to spare. So he's done it before,
and he's got a chance to do it again. As Gareth ran a right.
Well, there's one cannon required for Shaun. He was trying to get there this time. He's got the cannon on the black instead. 2 reds to the top left near the black. That's a problem. And he's going after it once again. This time he gets it.
That's a heck of a shot.
And this time it's perfect. Brilliant.
Gareth running around the table on the shot clock, ran out of position, took on a next to impossible plant down the cushion, and at this stage it should be a frame for Shaun Storry. He's got the break in the next one to go 3 apiece. This set is still alive. Gareth Hibbott had the chance to almost take the match away from Shaun Storry a minute ago. Big time clearance.
So good from Shaun. That was a brilliant finish. He had lots of work to do after that mistake from Gareth, but excellent stuff. This is a mistake that Gareth Hibbott made. I think he's figured out, well, he heard the beeps going on his shot. He didn't have time to get round the table and get onto the yellow into the centre pocket. So took on that really tough plant. Shot clock has caught him out.
Totally wasn't expecting we would we were discussing something else at the time because we fully expected him to keep going with the simple part of his clearance, really. It was a strange one. This is such a big break. Needs a ball. Needs a ball. Doesn't get one. Oh, how important that might be. How important that might be.
Red's a pretty good hit. Black's a little bit blocked off, but it's close enough to the centre pocket that he should be able to land on it with the Reds around it. Might play a cannon on the red to the top left. I think he was trying. And that's knocked things safe. I think that yellow's got in the way of the red. Possibly goes off the jaw. So look at the clock here and look at Gareth. Suddenly the beeps come in at 5 seconds, so you hear the beeps at 5 seconds, and yeah, he's been completely done by the shot clock there.
He's so experienced with the shot clock now, it doesn't really seem to faze him, even at 15 seconds through this tournament. He's coped better than most, I'd say. Needs that to drop, it wiped its feet. He's not overjoyed. It's tough to say whether that red goes. It is so tight.
I think it must do, the way he's going about this finish. I think the reason he's annoyed with himself is that he nearly missed that last red thin, and he actually wanted to pot it as thick as possible to hold the white further up the table. The thinner he hit it, the further down the table the white would come, and the harder that next shot would be.
So then, Shaun Storry, chance to tie things up. Plays the snooker. It's the percentage shot, but what we always say in this scenario, the gamble is that a hit may still win Gareth Hibbott the frame.
What an effort that is.
Top of the table from Shaun. I think he's still in a good position here, just keeps one eye on the clock.
He's got to find a good snooker or a pot and then a snooker, and oh, lovely, good pot that. Because it wasn't easy to play a safety shot from where he was. These yellows aren't nice. And Gareth, with that excellent escape from the snooker, has just opened things up enough that it would have to be a very good snooker from Shaun to stop Gareth from finding an escape and ultimately potting the ball and winning the frame.
Shaun now needs a series of really good shots. This is a high tariff clearance, and with less than 3 minutes remaining, it would make it 3-all. If the set was to end 3-all, both players take half a point, and we go into a decider with Shaun competing for a tiebreak, much like we saw last night. I mean, I'd say it's just about all Shaun has to play for. He's not rushing these, which I think he's absolutely right to do. Has to just stay in the match at this point. Has to make sure.
Has to win this frame regardless. Absolutely has to. He's one good shot away. He's played 2 or 3 great shots to get himself in this position. Is he going to try and move it? Is he going to try and play on it? He's going to move it off the top cushion, I think. If he misses this, he's a problem. Oh, he's missed it. So close.
Big problem.
How close was that? Any contact on the yellow and he's great.
Oh, is he going to knock the red in? He is. It's a foul. And Shaun is going to concede the frame, which makes it Gareth Hibbott 4, Shaun Storry 2. 1:38 left on the match clock. Shaun Storry, in essence here, needing snookers, really. He needs Gareth Hibbott, realistically, to golden duck this.
Needs some help, that's for sure. Worth pointing out as well, that's the second or third time in this match that Shaun has conceded the frame in that manner, and that's a rule that's he's well within his rights to do so in this form of the game. Tournament rule.
It's far from a tap break from Gareth, but Shaun is flying around the table here. You've got to respect this approach, you really do. He's thinking, if I can just get a break.
Yeah, just a golden break would do it. All he wants is a break, and Donna's going to take about 20 seconds to rack the balls up.
Oh, he wanted that to drop. It's not going to go. And Shaun Storry has conceded the match. Gareth Hibbott has done it.
He knew when he missed that ball that it was match over. He was trying his hardest just to give himself one chance of a golden break to tie things up, but wasn't able to do so, and it is Gareth Hibbott that gets himself into the final.
Oh, an incredible match, Simon, and you've got to respect Shaun's approach in that final frame in particular. He wasn't far away from having a decent chance at maybe having one more shot to stay alive, but a semi-final that was decided in the big moments, and whilst Gareth wasn't at his best tonight, we saw what his best looked like on Monday. It was a match where he won those key moments, you feel?
Absolutely, especially in that last set. He got himself in front by winning the key moments, and he's a deserved winner and into the final. A quick word for Shaun, though. You know, he's been a breath of fresh air in this tournament, the way he's played, and that was a great example there. You know, a lot of players could have given up in that situation, but he was still fighting, still believing, and some of the ball he's played in this tournament has been absolutely brilliant, and I look forward to seeing him back on a shootout sometime soon.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. We'll speak to our second finalist after the break. Well, welcome back to the Super Series here on Free Sports. We now have our final, Simon, after so many weeks, so many matches, so many different players, so much drama. Gareth Hibbott joins Alex O'Donoghue in the final. A word on his performance before we speak to our winner.
Not the fireworks of his quarter-final match, but still a very solid performance from Gareth. A few mistakes in there, but he was able to keep himself focused, and he won the big moments at the key times, and a deserved winner.
Yeah, we can now speak to our winner tonight. Gareth, huge congratulations. A massive performance from yourself. It probably didn't hit the heights of Monday all the way through the match, but first of all, how pleased are you to get the win and move into the final?
Yeah, delighted really. I knew it'd be tough against Shaun. He keeps coming back at you. Nothing's taken for granted, and it's just a different game to Monday really. Monday, John was getting the tricky finishes, and tonight it felt like there was one or two problems in pretty much every finish, and it just sometimes wasn't getting the flicks, and I was queuing in some nice balls and putting some good shots, but it just felt a little bit trickier.
Congratulations, Gaz. A good performance in the right places at the right time. But I want to ask you about your break. You had another golden break tonight. You've had quite a few in the tournament already, but you also had a few things go against you on the break, although it did look like you were still hitting it well. Yeah.
I think I potted off probably the first 5 or 6, and then kept potting, but then I think I had 3 in-offs on the trot, so 4-1 up in that set, and I don't know, maybe 7-8 minutes left. I thought I'll try a cut break, and the black just flew in. I think Donna must have racked him perfectly for me.
It's interesting, isn't it? We saw the dynamic between yourself and Shaun there with the golden break. It still feels like you almost want to apologise for hitting that in. You guys need to learn how to celebrate these. It was a great way of winning the set for you. In terms of the drama of the match though, Gaz, I know we spoke before tonight about how yesterday's semi-final went. It almost went similarly tonight, the way that the pair of you made mistakes at crucial times, but it felt like you seemed to take advantage more of them.
Yeah, I think the first set was strange because the first frame was probably 12-13 minutes, and then suddenly we're so early in the set, but we're on the 15 seconds, and it was it just caught us a little both by surprise. We're only 1-0 in the set, and we're playing on the shorter clock already, and caught us out a few times. But yeah, and it's so hot in there as well. It's boiling tonight.
How difficult is it for you to stay in the moment? We used to seeing you play on the tour when there would be less mistakes because there isn't the pressure of the shot clock, and you can stay very much more composed. But when you are making mistakes out there, is it easy just to sort of write it off and go, right, next chance?
Yeah, but I think the last one there where I didn't get on the plant, so I played to get on the plant there, but I was worried about screwing off in the middle, and I thought that's going to cost me. It's going to be 3-all with a couple of minutes left, and it's game on again. But Shaun was a bit unlucky splitting his balls out, and or did he? I know he won that frame. I think it was the frame after, but yeah, it's just when it's coming down to those last couple of seconds, you just panic a little bit.
Well, hey, you made it, mate. You are in the final next Tuesday against Alex O'Donoghue. How excited are you to be there, and what do you make of your opponent?
Alex has played class. He's beat 3 real top players. He's beat Gav Robinson, Jordan and Mark. So I'd say the last 2 were probably the 2 favourites for the tournament. So if he keeps that going, he's going to be tough to beat.
Well, we look forward to watching you on Tuesday, mate. Once again, a huge congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh, there goes Gareth Hibbott, and we will see him on Tuesday night. That is our final, Simon. And ahead of time here, let's have a very, very short preview if we can. Alex versus Gareth, both of them have had pretty difficult runs to this final. We'll take a look at the draw, and before we talk about Gareth, let's talk about Alex. Gareth talked about it there. Gav Robinson versus Alex O'Donoghue. We talked about that right at the start of the tournament. That was the closest game on paper. Alex survives through that, then knocks out Jordan Shepherd, who's been in every final bar one in this format, the big favourite coming into the tournament, and then knocks out Mark Farnsworth, who put in the performance of the tournament in round 1 as well. An incredible run.
Absolutely incredible run. Absolutely, look at the score lines there: 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. He's in a deciding set every single time, and yeah, he's had to work very, very hard. But he's been very solid in all of his matches, and when he's made a mistake, he's not let it affect him. He's just come back, and then he's gone on a run and made 3, 4, 5 finishes on the trot, got himself in front, and yeah, he's a very worthy finalist. Perhaps not a player that everyone would have picked at the start of the tournament, but when you beat the players like he has in this tournament so far, I mean, he's really earned his spot for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We take a look at Gareth Hibbott's run there. He's knocked out John McAllister in the quarters, and a great victory tonight against Shaun Storry. A word for our vanquished semi-finalist. He himself had a wonderful run to get to this stage, Simon, but there was points tonight. We talked about it, the head-to-head moments, and sadly for Shaun, at times it was a horror story.
I often talk about it on commentary. The key to this game, when you're playing great players, is punishing the mistakes, because when great players play well, there are the mistakes are few and far between. And tonight, Shaun didn't punish the mistakes as regularly as he needed to, and this is just an example of one of those times. It should have been fairly simple, getting onto that black, leave it straight to the corner. It's not a problem, and ends up leaving an awkward angle and causes a mistake. And once again, it's a poor positional shot that forces him to have to take on a much harder shot, and he wasn't able to recover.
And in each of these clips that we're looking at, Simon, it was Gareth who went on to win that frame. And it's tough for Shaun, but both players did make mistakes. But I think that was the difference tonight, wasn't it? That Gareth took advantage of those, and there will be a grain in Shaun's mind that will think, what if? And that's never nice for a player.
These shots we're showing you here, these are in situations where Shaun has worked the table into a position where he should clear up, where he knows he should clear up. He should win these frames. We're not showing you early in the frame where, it's still lots of work to do. Every single one of these clips are frames that he probably, he knows in his own heart that he should have made the clearance and should have won those frames. And if you're talking, what have we shown there, 4, 5, 6 clips, you turn those around the other way, all of a sudden he's the guy that's in front in the match. And it is a fine line, and he just wasn't able to punish the mistakes as much.
Yeah, there was some amazing pool play by both players, but it is Gareth Hibbott who comes out on top to make it into Tuesday's final. Plenty more pool coming up for you on Free Sports before the final, and a moose-boosh of shootout showdown matches. Paddy McCarran takes on Matt Lawrenson for £2,000. And then following that, the main event, 5k on the line for John Roberts and Martin McIntosh. That is some prize pot, Simon.
It is, and very short matches. Money matches are a big staple of the pool world, and they're normally long races to 21, races to 25. These are 2 sets of pool. If you go 1 set all, it's a 1-frame shootout to see who will walk away with the money.
And there we see our final is set. It's happened so recently, we haven't quite got it set in stone or in graphic just yet, but we do now know, hey, the magic of TV, Gareth Hibbott against Alex O'Donoghue, Tuesday, 6 p.m. That is our Super Series final. Another fantastic night of pool here on Free Sports. We've still got so much more to come, but the Super Series is almost reaching its climax. Gareth Hibbott joins Alex O'Donoghue. We hope you join us for the final on Tuesday. We'll see you then.
Too fast, too fly, too flaunt it, too gas, too high, yeah, we on it. We go wherever the crew going. I'm ready, so tell me who want it.
This programme is brought to you by Taom Billiards.